there was one thing alone that made it worthwhile. Hi there, people of YouTube. My name's Sam. I'm also known as author Samuel J. White, and I'm doing this video purely to check out whether my brand new microphone is working properly. This channel has been around for some time. I did some interviews many years ago on here, and I haven't really done much since. But I'm revamping the whole thing. I'm going to talk about Storycraft and what I do with my company Storycraft and what I do when I go out to events as an author. I had made a whole new video about changing my office around and putting it out in the shed and creating space for it, making my rabbits move out and building them a pen and stuff like that. And and it didn't get moved out into the shed. So that was a waste of time, but I started making a video based on the event that I went to last weekend at Lingwood Village Hall with another author called Jack Gregory, who I'm going to interview on this channel, hopefully. And it was going to be all the behind the scenes stuff, and I ended up running late and not getting to get much footage of it. And then it turned out to not be very good. But I'm going to show you some of the footage anyway. What you're seeing here is me simply packing up the books for the night before the event. This first one is my first book, A Midwinter Night's Dream, followed by my most recent one, Roaring into the Norfolk Sunset. Then comes 3 copies of each of the Derailed and Dispersed series. There are currently 3 parts to this series. There will be 5, maybe 6 by the time it finishes. Then comes One Pill, One Life, which is the autobiography of my cousin Jack Royal, who suffers from tuberous sclerosis. He'll be coming to some events with me very soon. Followed by a load of books from another load of local authors who I sell for. After speeding that up, we have The Beach Hut, which is an anthology of short stories, which I'm part of. One of mine's in there. And don't forget my most popular book, Maria's Photograph. Then we have a load of leaflets, books, a few book stands, selfie stick, battery pack, and so on. There would have been some footage here of me getting in the car and driving and going to meet Jack Gregory, who's the other author who was with me, and interviewing him before the start of the event and so on. But I had to leave in a bit of a hurry, overslept, and then there was roadworks and I had to drive for like 45 minutes to go and get him, and then we got to the event, I suppose, after all of the roadworks and the sat-nav going wrong. We got there with about 1 minute to spare and had to just shove everything up. So the event itself was at Lingwood Village Hall in Norfolk. I've been there several times on my own as an author, not with Jack. It's been successful most times that I've been there. I've had a bit of a here and there with another author who goes to that event who we don't get on. She wasn't there that day. Unfortunately, because of the very poor Wi-Fi, we weren't able to go live from the event. We were barely able to collect card payments. Not that that mattered, because there weren't many people paying with card. There weren't, in fact, that many people at all, as you can see. As I said, I've been to this event before. It was buzzing before. There was outdoor stalls as well. I had my stall outdoors, but it's just not the right time of year. I think it's early February when this was, and people have just spent a load of money at Christmas. They're not going to come out to such things as this. They start to come out more at Easter, unfortunately. Jack sold a few books. I sold a few books, mainly to other stall holders. But there was one thing alone that made it worthwhile. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And if Jack and myself hadn't gone out to Lingwood on this day, then we wouldn't have got the opportunity that's coming up. We were just waiting around looking for customers when a lady came in and she saw us and she came straight up to us and she said, "Do you two do talks?" And of course we both said yes. And now in probably less than 2 weeks' time, I think it's less than 2 weeks' time, maybe just a bit over, in fact, we've been booked in to do a talk at the Royal British Legion. So I said just over 2 weeks' time. In fact, it's around 2.5 weeks' time. We're going to be doing a talk at the Royal British Legion event in Acle, and Acle is where my books are set. Well, in around that area, my Derailed and Dispersed series is set there. So, what a great place for that to be. Not only are they advertising it to their members, they're advertising it to the greater public as well. It's going out on posters, in local magazines and stuff like that. And if me and Jack hadn't gone to Acle on that day and had a quite rubbish event at Acle, we wouldn't have had this event, and then that could lead on to other things. So they're all worth it in the end. However, I think in this video you've probably heard enough from me, and I'm going to say goodbye for now. Thank you for watching, and I'm going to do some better stuff than this video. If you've got to the end, well done you. There's going to be lots of better stuff going on. My next event is on the 1st of March. That is in Cossey. Jack might be joining me for that, I don't know, but I'm going to have quite a few different events going on in March. And obviously we're going to have the talk at the Royal British Legion. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I very much doubt that you've enjoyed this video. But if you're still here, thank you so much for watching.